Hey guys, Dificulties here for some Soviet propaganda. I've played with way too many Russian lenses on this channel to claim it's just a trend. I love vintage Russian glass. I love it to the point of spending almost a year tracking down specific lenses and several months getting them serviced. This particular story takes place in 2017 as I started writing the unfinished Soviet lens buying guide. The stuff you learn when you dive into a subject is just fascinating. While digging through some dingy old forums, I came across a post that said the earlier versions of Soviet lenses were much more reliable than the ones that came after. Earlier Soviet lenses tend to be silver, so I started looking at silver lenses differently. Then I learned about a special coating, the exquisite red P, which was also only used in the earlier lenses. This thing was claimed to be the Soviet equivalent of the Zeiss T-star coating, except it is crazy blue-purple. It's the color of dusk. For some reason, this red P coating was abandoned later on or improved for cheaper production runs. Point being, the red P only shows up in a few lenses. Then, to really hammer the crazy in me, I found a post linking the number of zeros in certain lens models to its quality control and the people that were supposed to receive them. Like serials starting with 0 were reserved for factory union leaders. Double zeros were meant for members of the party and VIPs, while triple zeros meant prototypes and test models. Then, the hunting began. Over almost a year, I tracked down and definitely overpaid on a Mir 1, 2 Gallius 44, a Jupiter 9, a Gallius 40, and a Tire 11 that fit the bill. The Jupiter 9 follows a different serial code, but all the others are double zeros at least. I really liked them, but they were not to the top of their game. They killed all of my previous Soviet glass in performance, yet all the focus marks were off, the adapters were garbage, the bodies looked old and yellowed, dust inside the lenses, all of that crap. So I bid my time, and if there's something I learned servicing lenses is that you can't rush it. Until I found someone with a fitting background to work on them. More like, he found me. This is how I started to talk to Ilya Volkov from Moscow Optical Workshop. A few months later, I sent him the lenses, and over several months I watched him work, with constant updates, queries, and comments. It turns out it is true that earlier Soviet lenses went through a higher quality control. Mine had several bits and pieces intended to better them withstand the passing of time that are not present in later models. I also learned some elements had bigger issues like haze, fungus, and scratches, but Ilya was brilliant enough to source new ones from different lenses, different models, yet matching coatings and optics. I got constant updates through WhatsApp messages and emails that always gave me the impression that Ilya was having a blast while doing all this work. At the end of the process, he shipped back the lenses and sent me a long and detailed report of all the work done to each lens, as well as collimation comparisons of before, after servicing, and so many photos of the process. Almost everything that has showed up in this video came in that package. The lenses are now collimated to EF mount. They have custom-made aluminum focus and iris gears, polished silver shine. All the engraving has been repainted, and the craziest thing of all is Ilya managed to fix the aperture mechanism. If you ever used a preset aperture lens before, they work like this. You set your aperture value using one ring that has very clear clicks. Then, for focusing, you open it all the way using a second ring, and when you're ready to take the shot, you stop it down using the second ring again. That is great when shooting video because it feels and works like a clickless aperture. The only issue is you never know exactly your f-stop unless you're at either the end of the turn, wide open, or closed down. What Ilya did was some black magic to have only one of the rings rotating and the aperture values shown match the f-stop of the lens. I have no clue how he did that. All I know is it works, and now I can set my lenses at specific stops besides wide open. These lenses went to Russia looking like ugly ducklings and came back as beautiful swans. I mentioned Ilya before on the Photon A review, and here I would really like to highlight his work. I've had lenses serviced by a handful of folks so far, and no other experience made me learn as much about my lenses as working with him. And the report at the end is just the cherry on top. When I asked him about it, he said that vintage lenses should be treated like vintage cars, with detailed sheets of all the work done to them, keeping track of the historical value of those items and the upgrades they went through. If you got Soviet glass you love lying around and you think it could be better than it is, Ilya is the guy for the job. I can guarantee you'll learn a thing or two about your lenses, and they'll get way more use than before once they return. Have you ever thought someone would service a Gelius 44? That's crazy, right? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure to check Ilya's Facebook page in the description. If you like this shirt that I'm wearing, please check it under the description of the video. And please consider joining the channel. Besides just subscribing, there are some useful traits there. Thank you for hanging out, and I hope you had fun. See you on the next one. Chit of Headings out. Oh, you're still there. Hello. This pays off with a film theory lesson with Soviet undertones. The opening joke of this episode is based around the Kuleshov Effect. Lev Kuleshov was a Russian filmmaker in the 1900s, and he argued that editing creates meaning through association. He demonstrated this to the audiences in an experiment like this. First, you show a shot of a guy looking off screen. His expression is neutral. Then you show a shot of something else. Let's say a girl sunbathing. It feels like it's his point of view. And then you cut back to the guy, and now you perceive him as a stalking perv. Although the first shot and the third shot are exactly the same. We're creating meaning and feelings through association. The same way, if we swap out the middle shot for, let's say, a plate of soup. Back to the guy, now he looks hungry. Put a cat in the middle and now he looks happy or scared, depending on how you feel about black cats. Film is also mind tricks. All right, that's it. I'll see you in the next one.